Tonight, Bombers, Argos. Come on in.
Say get ready to go. It's Friday night football. It's Friday night, you know. Yeah!
Oh, what a catch! Touchdown! Touchdown!
What a hit!
Spectacular!
The stadium is rocking. Friday night football.
So show us your colors, going coast to coast. Friday night football on TSN. Let's go!
Is a hot, muggy summer Friday night in downtown Toronto, BMO Field, home of the Argonauts. This season, their fourth home game is coming up as they get set to host the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
And these fans are here to see Logan Kilgore make his second career start. Threw for 322 yards last week, but also 2 picks. He can't do that against this ball hockey defense. They've had 7 turnovers in the last 2 games.
Coming into this year, Matt Nichols was slated to be the backup. But in his mind, he said, I'm a starter in this league. The last 2 weeks, he's gotten that opportunity, and he's taking full advantage of it. Let's see what he can do with it tonight. Confidence is big, and when you have that confidence, the sky's the limit.
This is not the quarterback matchup we would have expected a few weeks ago. Ricky Ray injured, and the Bombers making that change with Drew Willie out. Matt Nichols in, and Winnipeg has won both of their games since then. The Argos have also won 2 in a row. Kickoff coming up in Toronto.
And all eyes tonight on Logan Kilgore. Logan Kilgore throwing now. Has Kenny Shaw's got the touchdown. Perfect pass. And Whitaker, oh, what a lead. Brandon Whitaker, high hurdle. Oh, no. Chris Normand goes leaping.
That's beautiful.
Nichols settles in. End zone. Scores. Touchdown. What a play. And the onslaught continues.
Friday Night Football at BMO Field in Toronto. Welcome Rod Smith along with Jock Climby and Milt Stiegel. 2 teams, the Bombers and Argos, carrying momentum into this game. So quick thought on what you're looking for.
Winnipeg, they need to get off to a quick start. You look at their last 2 games that they've won, they've outscored teams 32-0 in that first quarter. That's big when you're dealing with young guys because they don't have to face adversity. Another thing, they haven't trailed it for 1 second in those 2 games, Jock. If they can do that, they got a good chance of winning.
Yeah, for me, I'm looking at the receiving cores of both teams, severely depleted. I mean, we're talking about starters out, big-time starters for Toronto. The big 3 out. But you know what? They're getting Deontay Spencer back, and so far they haven't looked like they're missing the big 3. That's how well they've been playing. And for Winnipeg, I mean, their version of big 3 is out too, with Dressler and Smith and Darvin Adams. But Clarence Denmark back with the Bombers looks spectacular. And Thomas Mayo, this is a guy that people need to start thinking about here because he's also been very impressive. So how well can these offenses acclimatize to the fact that they do not have their regular receiving cores there?
At stake in the standings, hey, the Bombers could improve to 4-4. The Argos trying to retake sole possession of first place in the East and move ahead of Ottawa. And also, someone with something at stake. Hal Caesar of Leduc, Alberta. You can win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff is returned for a touchdown in this game, thanks to Safeway Sobeys. Touchdown to win promotion. And if it should happen a second time in this game, you can also be in store for $1 million. Good luck with that, Hal. Upstairs now to Rod Black and Dwayne Ford.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, Canada. Near the lake, Lake Ontario. The outside sweatbox exhibition place. Tonight, BMO Field, it's the Bombers and the Argos, and like the weather, they're both riding hot.
Yeah, Matt Nichols undefeated as a starter this season, 2 games since taking over for Drew Willie. The big number that stands out, 0 interceptions in those 2 starts. He's doing a nice job taking care of the rock. And for Toronto, Logan Kilgore, also undefeated, but just 1 game. He, of course, won his debut before the Argos had the bye week. A victory in Ottawa, over 300 yards in that game for Logan Kilgore.
Scott Milanovic, his team coming off that bye. Milanovic, of course, a Grey Cup champion in his first year back in 2012, Coach of the Year. During that time, he had an assistant working with him named Mike O'Shea, head coach of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers now. O'Shea feeling the heat of a different kind a couple of weeks ago. That has cooled now. The Bombers have won 2 in a row. So the blue and gold come to Toronto. against the double blue. The Argos 4-2. The Bombers are 3-4. Lirim Hajrullahu, former Blue Bomber, last year with Winnipeg, will kick this one off tonight in a sweat box at BMO Field. A very, very hot night. Back to get it is Kevin Fogg, and Fogg up near the 25-yard line. It is sweltering tonight, 28 degrees Celsius, but it feels like 40 degrees. There is rain in the forecast tonight. There was a penalty flag on that return.
Matt Nichols takes the field. You see the numbers. 59 of 80, over 70% completion rate
Winnipeg,
for him.
Number 37, top distance to the goal. First down.
Al Bradbury is our referee tonight. So long field for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and trending for the Bombers of late. Certainly Matt Nichols coming in for Drew Willie the last couple of games, has not thrown a pick, has 2 wins, and the Bombers have got off to great starts. They come out in a double tight end set here. Andrew Harris in the backfield. Harris, and he quickly is wrapped up by Justin Hickman, and also Argo free safety Thomas Gordon.
You see Andrew Harris in that backfield. Harris comes in with 125 touches on the season. And this makeshift receiving corps with guys filling in for injuries. Keep an eye on Chris Adams on the outside, a potential deep threat. That offensive line tonight will feature Manasseh Foketi at the right tackle spot. Another big body out there blocking for Nichols and Harris.
Nichols throws on second down. And not to a first down marker. So Thomas Mayo makes the catch, and a very quick 2 and out for the Blue Bombers to start this one tonight.
Well, we talked about the importance of a quick start for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but starting off with tough field position, a big stand by the Argos, who should get the ball in very good field position for their first possession here.
Justin Medlock, high kick. Larry Taylor, former outstanding special teams player, 7 years ago in the league, and so the Argos get a great starting position for young Logan Kilgore, making his second start in the Canadian Football League.
One of the important things for Logan Kilgore in that debut was being put in positions to be successful. This is what you always want for a young quarterback, and this field position fits the bill perfectly for him.
Argo team that comes in last offensively in net offense. Yards earned. Play action right away, a little drop off. And Deontay Spencer back in the lineup for the Argos, his first start of the season, coming off the injured list, gets the first touch and goes nowhere. In fact, they lost 3 or 4 yards on that play.
Joining Kilgore in that backfield, of course, a very versatile Brandon Whitaker, much like Winnipeg, a receiving corps that's been patched together because of injuries, but guys have stepped up and have been productive. On that offensive line, Sean McEwen, the rookie, makes his second consecutive start at center. 2nd and 13, and almost picked off, and this is a ball hawking defense as mentioned. There's the rookie Taylor Loeffler. Comes in at free safety, filling in for the injured Macho Harris. Vanier Cup champion Loeffler already has a pick this season, almost had his second. Yeah, 3rd round pick this year, but a guy who certainly could have gone higher. Started his college career at Boise State University, actually because of injuries briefly retired from football before coming back with the UBC Thunderbirds in 2015.
Hajrullahu sends Kevin Fogg back near his 5-yard line, brushes aside a couple tackles, and then Fogg gets it up close to the 19-yard line. So far, underwhelming offense from both sides. 2 and outs to start here on Friday Night Football. Matt Nichols, looking to get settled once again, has led his team to 2 straight wins. SN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Scorching summer night here tonight. Not far from the lakeshore. Busy night in Toronto. Friday night football under the lights here at BMO Field. Matt Nichols, second series here. Hands it off to Andrew Harris. And he is gobbled up very quickly. No gain on the play.
We'll take a look at that Argo defense. We'll see a pretty good rotation as well with Sean Lemon, Brian Bulkey making his 2016 debut. Corey Greenwood coming off a season-high 8-tackle performance in Ottawa. On the back end, A.J. Jefferson turns after a 2-interception performance in his last outing.
Passing down for Nichols in traffic. Harris can't hang on. And A.J. Jefferson, who has a couple of picks. T.J. Heath, who leads the Canadian Football League, also 3 picks on the season. Got to be careful throwing the football tonight on both sides.
Winnipeg will like to move Andrew Harris around a little bit, find different ways to put the ball in his hands. A.J. Jefferson certainly well prepared for what he'll see from this Argo offense.
So Justin Medlock from his goal line, that left foot. This is a better kick this time. Larry Taylor averages 11 yards. A return. Reverses field and won't get 11 this time. In fact, lost a little bit of yardage on a 46-yard boot by the former Argo and Cat, Justin Medlock. So Logan Kilgore will again bring that offense back on the field. And how about Logan Kilgore just before the bye week? What a start for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Over 300 yards in his starting debut. Threw a couple of interceptions in that ball game, but it was interesting yesterday, Rod, to talk to both Scott Milanovich and Logan Kilgore about when he really felt comfortable in that ball game, and it was on a late first half possession that ended in an interception, but they felt he was really starting to settle in at that point.
Brandon Whitaker helps out. First down. Whitaker, who averages 4.6 a carry, rattles off 11 that time. Team that, like most teams in the Canadian Football League, does not run the ball a whole lot. But when Whitaker does, there's that straight arm. He can do a lot of this.
Well, and this is a guy who can take a lot of the pressure off a young quarterback. Much like Andrew Harris over on the other side, you've got a very versatile back, a guy you can move around in the passing game. You can count on him in pass protection. And then you obviously have the production that he gives you on the ground.
Comes in third in rushing in the CFL into week 8. There's Kenny Shaw. Shaw, who may have a benefit. You know, you heard the panel talk before the game about Logan Kilgore coming in. He's been on the scout team. He's been with the practice roster as we take a look at the Winnipeg D as well. But he has some familiarity with Kenny Shaw.
Yeah, I mean, these are two guys who spent a lot of time working together, whether as practice roster guys, running scout team, or even just getting extra reps, trying to get better after practices last season. So a couple guys that know each other well and feel comfortable working together.
There's that secondary. A lot of fresh faces this year. It'll be second and short yardage. Cody Fajardo comes in, and a second effort should give him the first down.
Fajardo and that short yardage team have been very effective, very consistent all season given their opportunities. Argos will give you some different looks, committed to the quarterback keep here, but you never know with Fajardo whether it's coming in between those A gaps or whether he's going to pull it and go around the end.
Kilgore goes back in shotgun with a double tight end set here. Wants to throw and does. A deep shot here, has his man. And Deontay Spencer had that in his grasp. That might have been a touchdown. Missed opportunity.
Well, Deontay Spencer is going to work from that slot. Just a great route, nice release. Puts Bruce Johnson in a tough position when he can't put hands on beyond 5 yards, and there Spencer caught him a little bit flat-footed on that release. Left Johnson scrambling to try and make up ground.
Two teams not particularly adept on second downs in this ball game. Here's another conversion. Once again, he goes back to Kenny Shaw. Dwayne talked about it, getting a chance on scout teams. One thing that Logan Kilgore told us yesterday is that Kenny Shaw always stayed after practice and worked with him last year.
And here you'll see Kenny Shaw, a guy who has emerged as the Argos' leading receiver this season. You saw Deontay Spencer on the previous play. Spencer making his 2016 debut after opening on the injured list. It was his injury that opened the door for Kenny Shaw to get into the starting lineup. He's made the most of it for sure.
Kilgore pulls it back and unable to pull it down. Out of the backfield is Wallace Miles.
Wallace Miles, a guy who started his career with these Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Bounced around the league a little bit since. Stint with Ottawa and with Edmonton last year. Another guy getting an opportunity to play here with the Argos, as their big three from a year ago have been banged up.
No Vidal Hazelton tonight. Torrey Gurley, Phil Bates out of the lineup, all for the Argos. Kilgore has to throw this away, and he does. Big pressure that time from that Winnipeg front.
Well, as much as you don't like to give up that kind of pressure, you appreciate the decision by a young quarterback, not trying to force something, but preserving the field position. Giving Liram Hajrullahu a shot at the field goal.
Khalil Bass close to Kilgore. So Liram Hajrullahu, who left Winnipeg, free agent the offseason, beleaguered last year, had a real down year in Winnipeg, but has had a terrific season in Toronto. Went 5 for 5 against Ottawa. He starts off tonight. And for the first time in their last 2 games, the Blue Bombers are in a deficit. They haven't trailed. Now the Bombers look to bounce back, down 3-0 tonight on Friday Night Football on TSN. Last game by that guy, number 89, who's back. And with more on the sidelines is Matthew Shinnett.
Absolutely, Rod. You know, Saralewski talked about the crazy week that Clarence Denmark had last week, basically not even having a practice and being installed in the Bombers offense. But you talked to him, as we did yesterday, and he kind of contrasts the feeling about being let go by the team by Mike O'Shea earlier in the season, then getting that call last week and catching the touchdown pass. Now, he doesn't have the ball because really it disappeared when the celebration happened. But the one thing Denmark said as he makes the catch is that he feels so much appreciation, so much leadership, because there's that belief that he can come in when needed without much practice and perform for the team right away. Guys.
All right, thank you, Matt. One of the things, too, probably the reason he didn't want to keep the ball, he's caught a lot of his time. And he's a guy who has made spectacular catches, and kind of a numbers game, a money game, really, for the Bombers in the offseason. They had Weston Dressler, of course, Ryan Smith come in. Changes at receiver, and they go up the gut this time on 2nd down and 5, very close to a first down. Now with Dressler and Smith, Darvin Adams all banged up. Emergency call goes out to Clarence Denmark, and he answers.
Yeah, and this is a guy who has obviously not just familiarity with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers organization, but for offensive coordinator Paul LaPolice, who has worked with this team before. Obviously, he felt comfortable having Denmark in there and knew he was a guy who'd pick things up quickly.
Quite a spark, though, ignited by Denmark.
Well, 7 catches last week to lead the Bombers. And that was just on a couple of days' practice.
Said he had to do some cramming, get back up to speed, knew some of the terminology, of course. 2nd and 10, Nichols over the top and shoestring, but incomplete. Again, looking Denmark's way, so it will be boot time again for the Blue Bombers, with 5.5 to go in this opening quarter. Just over a week ago, Mike O'Shea and his Bombers and Clarence Denmark and Matt Nichols and Winnipeg had to endure a 2.5-hour delay, come out and then take it to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. One of the most lopsided wins in a long time for the Blue Bombers. Spinning kick. Handled by Taylor. Argos will start near their 33-yard line in BMO Field tonight. And a hot one. Logan coming off his first win. Went back home in the off week. The California kid back in the saddle when we come back to Toronto. Week 8 comes to a conclusion tomorrow. The Calgary Stampeders, Saskatchewan Roughriders in a game dripping with some irony. Bo Levi Mitchell and the Riders. And tomorrow night, the Battle of the Cats. And guess who's back? Can't wait to see Zach Collaros back with the Hamilton Tiger Cats all tomorrow on TSN. Should be a great one out in BC Place tomorrow night. 3-0 early on here. The Argos on a field goal by Lirim Hajrullahu. Kenny Shaw once again. He's dropped.
Oh, this is a nice effort by the corner, Terrence Frederick, to fight through the block on this bubble screen, come up and make a play.
The guy who was out of football all of 2014 coming back, the former NFLer out of Texas A&M. Talk about a team that's been able to plug and play. How about the Bombers secondary?
Well, 4 new starters on the back end, and Bruce Johnson hasn't played every game. One veteran.
Kilgore goes deep here, and Spencer trying to lay out, but there's a penalty flag in the backfield, and it's against the Argos, so it would have been brought back anyway.
Illegal block. Toronto, number 54, hands to the face. That penalty's declined. Comes third down.
So another 2 and out. As Deontay Spencer tries to get rid of some of that grass from his helmet. And again, this is natural turf here. The only stadium in the CFL with natural grass, a home of the TFC club, the soccer team here as well.
You saw Chris Van Zyl get his hands up a little high.
Kevin Fogg now. There he goes. Kevin Fogg, big return. He has become an answer for the Blue Bombers on the returns this season. He's had 2 touchdowns that have been called back because of penalty. No penalty here. 41-yard kick and a 34-yard return by the defensive back turned returner. Great starting point for the Bombers.
Fogg in the return game for Winnipeg just gave them great field position on a punt return. But I'd contend that the 3 points on the board for the Argos at this point are really a result of bad decisions that Fogg made earlier that hurt the Bombers in terms of field position. Deep kickoff and a deep punt in both instances. He could have let it bounce into the end zone or taken a knee in that end zone to give up the single point in exchange for field position that ultimately hurt the Bombers on that exchange early on. But here, as I said, redeeming himself with a great return to have the Bombers start off in very good position just inside the Argonaut 40-yard line.
Bomber team that has had Quincy McDuffie returning kicks, but Kevin Fogg the last couple of games out of Liberty University and a native of Raleigh, North Carolina. So now 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line for Matt Nichols. He'll keep it on the turf for Andrew Harris. Harris, who has only averaged 2.7 yards in his last game, but 176 yards rushing over 2 games. And again, nobody seems to be running the football right now.
Andrew Harris is a very good threat to have back there. Obviously a guy who's been a 1,000-yard rusher in this league, but also, again, very reliable blocker, a guy who understands blitz schemes, a guy you can move around as a receiver.
Another flag flies as Harris leaps for the first down. See what this is in the backfield.
Holding. Winnipeg, number 60.
Against the Blue Bombers.
Remains second down.
Oh. A little angst in the trenches down below. So 2nd down and 11 from the Argo 40. Nichols has time and out of the backfield right into gridlock. They'll get nothing. And then we'll bring out their field goal unit to tie this up.
Well, ideally, when you're trying to set up that screen, you're looking for something of an element of surprise against an aggressive pass rush team. But in that instance, obviously the Argos not caught off guard by that at all. Very well defended play.
Justin Medlock, 19 of 23. Highest percentage CFL history, but he's also made his last 12 for Winnipeg. His first season there. This from the 49. The kick is up and whoa. Took a circuitous route, did it not? And then all of a sudden curved in, and Justin Medlock has a smile and he's riding hot as well. We are tied at 3.
You've got a situation in this ball game with two guys starting at quarterback. You see that curveball.
That's a slider, I think. Might have been a cutter. There's a guy who could shape not only a football but a golf ball as well. And known to do that from time to time. Justin Medlock in his first year with the Blue Bombers, and the irony tonight up against the guy who was with Winnipeg last year in Lirim Hairelahu. And those two have accounted for the scoring so far. Now from the 35, back at it is Kilgore and company. Hands it off to Whitaker. Whitaker stopped there, tripped up by Keith Sholigan. Canadian interior lineman, former member of the Red Blacks and Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Good force at the point of attack there. Jamal Westerman, Keith Sholigan on that defensive line. Demonstration of the Canadian talent these Bombers have built up over the last couple of years.
Winnipeg defense that has forced a lot of turnovers but has given up a lot of yards. In fact, more than any other team. Spencer makes the catch. And the spot will be very close to the first down mark.
Fajardo and the big team into the game.
Scott Milanovich, who told us yesterday, has a lot of respect, obviously, for Mike O'Shea, who used to work with him in Toronto, and this Bomber team with a little momentum right now. And as he told us yesterday, they're a lot more talented than people gave them credit for early in the season.
Yeah, I mean, they're a team that's been busy over the course of the last couple off seasons. Obviously in free agency in particular. Looking to rebuild this franchise. You know, and as much as Matt Nichols has obviously had a significant impact since stepping under center for this team, I think there's also an element to it of just a lot of new faces starting to gel a little bit as well.
5 receivers set for Kilgore. There he goes. Bomb now for Spencer. Forget about it. He's gone. It's a touchdown. Welcome back, Deontay Spencer. 62-yard strike from Logan Kilgore.
And this is why Scott Milanovich and the Toronto Argonauts couldn't wait to get this guy back in the lineup. Just pure speed. This is the 3rd deep shot they've taken to Deontay Spencer in the first quarter of this ball game, and the first time they've been able to connect. That speed kills. Deontay Spencer's got it in bunches.
McNeese State product. Hairelahu buries the point after from 32 yards out, and Deontay Spencer has his first touchdown in 2016 after being on the injured list, his first game back. They kept going after him and going after him, and a couple of close ones, and they finally hit on the final play of the first quarter. Kilgore to McNeese State product, Deontay Spencer. Touchdown Argos. Of the opening quarter, Kilgore to Spencer. And it's a 10-3 Toronto lead on Friday Night Football. One of the things, Dwayne, that the Argos have been missing this year, and of course Ricky Ray got hurt, Logan Kilgore comes into the ball game for the Argos the last couple of games, but they've been missing the big play. That was a huge play.
Yeah, and obviously this is something that they set out to do, somewhat predetermined. A couple of early shots deep to Deontay Spencer. They get one of their speed guys back in this lineup. And third time's a charm as they connect for the touchdown. Kilgore to Spencer.
Spencer giving a shout out. All those watching on ESPN tonight down south.
Now Spencer's a guy that had over 500 yards receiving last year. He only played 10 games. Filling in at times for Chad Owens.
Big kick by Hairelahu. This time it's Andrew Harris who's returning the kick. Harris brings it up near the 25-yard line, and we'll get back in the huddle here with the offense.
A little rough housing on the sidelines at the end of that special teams play.
So now Matt Nichols, 9-12 as a starter in the CFL. Of course, former Edmonton Eskimo. Traded to Winnipeg last season. Injury issues there. Forced the Bombers to make a deal. Nichols comes out firing, and the catch made by Clarence Denmark. A big gainer up near the 50-yard line.
And that's a great response to start this drive by Matt Nichols in the Winnipeg Blue Bomber offense. And to me, this is an indication of the confidence that this team has developed over the course of the last couple of games. You saw the Bombers earlier in the year when they seemed to be struggling a little bit. A big play like the Spencer touchdown going against them was the kind of thing that might lead to a letdown, might lead to them hanging their heads a little bit, even early in a ball game.
Once again, the Argos run defense suffocating Andrew Harris, going nowhere.
You know, Rod Clarence Denmark made the comment to us yesterday as a guy who's been around this Bomber team over the last few years, and obviously coming back to a somewhat different dressing room with a lot of new faces here in 2016, having not been with the team during training camp, suggested that it is a different vibe in there, that there seems to be a great level of camaraderie, a great sense of team, of family, the kind of cohesiveness you're really looking for.
Second down again. Nichols with time. Aaron toss for Rory Colhert, incomplete. So another drive stopping there. Matt Nichols, as he told us yesterday, though, you know, everybody talks about the game itself and, you know, getting some continuity. All this guy says is wins matter. The most important thing is wins. That's all that anybody looks at.
Yeah, obviously you want the process, but at the professional level, it is very much about the outcome.
Whoa! Booming hit downfield. Penalty flag on the play. Bombers special teams. Great coverage team downfield quickly. 10-3 Argos.
During the return, illegal block, Toronto, number 41.
Third segment, GMC Precision Playbook with Dwayne Ford on managing twists.
Yeah, that's right. Do you know what a twist is, Rob?
I do. Shelby Checker made it famous.
That's right.
Looking forward to that at halftime with my man. Kilgore now in trouble. Gets out of it. And Logan Kilgore shows some fleet feet. Getting out of the pocket when it looked like for a moment it had collapsed.
And that's the first time we've seen that from Kilgore. He didn't register a rushing attempt last week against, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago before the bye week against Ottawa. But you see the middle parts like the Red Sea, and he takes advantage of the opportunity to pick up some positive yards.
Bomber team that's tied for 6th in the league in sacks with 14. Kilgore again, far side, Kenny Shaw. Bruce Johnson wrapping him up and ripping him down. Meanwhile, trying to help out with the spot. It's going to be that far away, but as Logan can't sell that to his coach because it's a little bit further than that, I'm afraid.
You know, it seems like such a simple thing to say, but this is a terrific job of tackling, of ensuring the tackle by Bruce Johnson. Got the DB out there in space, one-on-one situation. That's the difference between forcing the Argos into this punt situation or that play going for a big gainer.
Irelahu back home this week, native of St. Catharines, Ontario. Kevin Fogg, penalty flag on the play right now. Fogg is pushed out near the Argos sideline. 48-yard kick, a 7-yard return. Matt Nichols returns.
Well, Matt Nichols has been the Bombers' starting quarterback in each of the last 2 games. Obviously both wins. For 500 yards passing, 3 touchdown passes versus the big number, 0 interceptions in those 2 ball games.
Interceptions plaguing him in seasons past. And up against a guy he knows well. Was a coach in Edmonton when he was there. Used to play against the Calgary Stampeders when Rich Stubler was the defensive coordinator there. And now Stube, as they know and call him and love him. I guess opposition doesn't love him too much.
Holding. Winnipeg number 0. 10-yard penalty. First down.
But up against a Rich Stubler defense that, as Matt Nichols tells us, doesn't like to give up the big play, the chunk play.
Oh, they're a group that's has always been under Rich Stubler, bend but don't break type philosophy.
1st and 10, Nichols, and it's picked off by Thomas Gordon, who has his first CFL interception. Matt Nichols' streak is over. First interception of 2016 into the midst of Thomas Gordon and that Rich Stubler defense on Friday Night Football. There's a souvenir tonight.
Thomas Gordon, the University of Michigan product, gets his first. And there's the free safety, and he's just playing center field on this when he stays right on that hash mark. You're going to see Matt Nichols tries to throw it into a tight window, a little bit of an overthrow right into the waiting arms of Gordon, playing his 3rd game for the Argos, 2nd start at that free safety spot with Jermaine Gabriel out of the lineup.
Logan Kilgore trying to make the Bombers pay. Fires it over the top, and it's picked back. And it is Kevin Fogg. And there is an injured Argo minus a helmet back near the 10-yard line.
Yeah,
but
that's Kenny Shaw. He was the intended receiver on that play and ended up sandwiched between a couple of Bomber defenders.
And he got walloped, and Kevin Fogg on the next pass from scrimmage picks up his 2nd CFL interception. And this was another pass that was thrown into traffic.
Kevin Fogg from his halfback position. Right on that 20-yard line, standing on the numbers. Once he sees this route coming at him, makes a great break to the football, and there you see about 2 or 3 Bombers converging, but particularly Fogg and Ian Wild.
Ian Wild laid a licking on Kenny Shaw, going for the ball.
And you know, we talk about it all the time, the concentration by receivers in that situation, going up for a football in traffic when they know contact's coming. Give credit to Kevin Fogg there as well. All sorts going on all around him, with the bodies of Shaw and Wild flying around.
Scott Shannon, athletic therapist down there. He's been a busy guy in this season, particularly around receivers. They've had so many receivers dropping like flies in Toronto, and they've been able to fill in with more than admirable talent, including Kenny Shaw, who comes back into the lineup. Looks like he's going to be okay. We'll try to get an update with Matthew Shinetti from the sideline. That's all the Argos need right now. Again, without Hazelton, Gurley, Bates, and others.
Oh yeah, just at a time when you thought they'd be getting some relief with Spencer coming off the 6-game injured list. Of course, Hazelton went down last week.
Nichols laying out. Making the catch is Clarence Denmark. We call that spectacular, but you know what? That's routine for Clarence Denmark.
Yeah, a guy who's had a very good career with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. As you said, he got caught up in more of a numbers game than anything else when he was released prior to the season. But this is a guy who had a career high, 1,080 yards just 2 years ago.
3 catches, 39 for him. Andrew Harris has some room, and Harris rumbles now. Big gainer down inside the 40-yard line. Andrew Harris with one of his longest runs of 2016. 29-yarder.
Got Harris deep in that backfield, which will give him time to see that blocking scheme develop. Great job by the left guard. Mountain of a man, Travis Bond. Logging his guy to the inside, allowing Harris to bounce it into some open territory.
Big play for Winnipeg, looking to respond now. They'll keep it, pound the ground again with Andrew Harris, the former BC Lion, who comes back to his hometown this season, and albeit the pressure that goes with playing in your hometown, and certainly has not succumbed to that. Andrew Harris is a big game player.
And you talk about the potential distractions of playing at home, but Andrew Harris is a veteran. It might have been a different situation had he been playing in Winnipeg earlier in his career. And now a guy who's fully established as a player, but also a guy who fully understands what it takes to be a professional.
2nd and 5. They go to the wide side. Yikes. Jace Davis might want to stay away from anywhere near Mike O'Shea or any of the coaches right now. This was certainly a catchable ball.
Yeah, missed opportunity. Obviously, ball's perfectly thrown. Don't know if Davis was hearing footsteps or just generally thinking about running before he made the catch. That's when you got to have.
Again, Justin Medlock, who has now made 13 in a row. Late substitution here for Winnipeg and Toronto. And
time count violation.
Time
Winnipeg.
count violation.
Number 9. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Some personnel issues there, so this is going to come from the 45-yard line now instead of inside the 40, where Medlock, by the way, has been perfect this season.
I was going to point out earlier, you've got Matt Nichols doing the holding, Logan Kilgore doing it for Toronto, so the 2 starting quarterbacks had been Weston Dressler to start the season, but he, of course, is out.
Medlock puts it up, and he does it again. Argo fans know that well. He used to play here in Toronto and, of course, in Hamilton. Justin Medlock has made 14 in a row now. Cuts this lead to 4 here on Friday Night Football in Toronto. Far here tonight, his first game back, Deontay Spencer. Let's go to the sideline once again and rejoin Matthew.
Absolutely right. Now let's put Deontay Spencer, what he's doing tonight, in context, because that little receiver had a hairline fracture in his lower back after taking a hit in the preseason, and Deontay Spencer basically spent 3 weeks lying down doing nothing. He couldn't walk, he couldn't run, he was really frustrated. He told us a few weeks ago that his rehab was so frustrating that he couldn't do anything. But to be able to see him even after missing those catches is kind of remarkable. And the tag at the end of this was the Kenny Shaw update. The Argos looked at his neck, his shoulders, and his mouth, and he's back out in the field, guys.
Yes, we just saw him there. Thank you, Matt. Rocking that vest tonight. Deontay Spencer, that goes high and through his gloves. So 2nd down upcoming. The Argos just must be happy to have some healthy bodies back. It has been plug and play, to say the least, this season.
Well, you got to give a lot of credit to general manager Jim Barker and his scouting staff with the receivers they've brought in. As you saw, injured starting quarterback Ricky Ray on the sideline.
Kilgore stands in and he's picked again. Keon Raymond. Make that Khalil Bass, rather, has the interception off of Logan Kilgore, and Bass has his first pick of 2016. So Logan Kilgore throws one right into a Bomber again.
And you got to find that middle linebacker. There's Khalil Bass. Just doing a great job sitting in his zone, recognizing that crossing route is coming in beside him.
Bass had one interception for a touchdown last year. He has this pick here tonight, a huge one. Nichols back to add it. Open man, touchdown, Clarence Denmark. 29 yards to pay dirt.
2 games, 2 touchdowns for Denmark.
A heavy assist from that man. And Denmark puts the Bombers on top.
Well, Denmark popped wide open on that corner route. Love the aggressiveness coming off the turnover. It's that sudden change in momentum to go for the big strike right away.
Bomber team that came into tonight leading the CFL in takeaway giveaway. And they take away that one. Medlock buries it again. And Clarence Denmark. Winnipeg fans are probably going,
stand up, baby. I love you.
Why did they release this guy? And here he is back in Winnipeg's 2 straight games, 2 big plays, 2 huge touchdowns.
And Clarence Denmark lines up as the number 3 receiver to the field. And you're going to see defensively Keon Raymond. He turns out to look, as he sees Rory Kohler, the 1 receiver, coming on an end. He's anticipating the ball going there, and he kind of sits on it. And that leaves him flat-footed as Clarence Denmark runs right by him to go to that corner. So Keon Raymond, a guy who's been an opportunist throughout his career, took a little bit of a gamble but lost that time.
Well, the chess match continues with Paul LaPolice, the offensive coordinator. Former head coach in Winnipeg and a OC here as well in Toronto. 3-point Winnipeg lead now. Larry Taylor now looking to give an answer with 7 minutes to go before halftime. A couple of big plays in this game now, and the Bombers back in it thanks to 10 points off of Argo turnovers. Taylor turns. Down he goes at the 20-yard line. So Logan Kilgore, a couple of picks here tonight. Now 4 in 2 games, 4 blemishes for the young quarterback.
And Rod, we'll see how this possession goes for Kilgore, as we talked about with Winnipeg in the early part of this ball game. You want to put your quarterback and your offense in general in the best possible position to succeed in terms of their starting field position. Here it was Larry Taylor, veteran return guy, running that deep kick out, but they're starting inside their own 20-yard line. We saw how it cost Winnipeg a field goal early in this game. We'll see if Kilgore can put together a couple of first downs here to get out of this hole.
Lil Bass with that war paint on, and there's a good toss to Andre Dury. His first catch of the night is a first down up near the 32-yard line. 13-yard pickup.
On this one, wasn't the prettiest throw you're going to see from Logan Kilgore, but it got there, was enough to move the sticks. So Andre Dury, one of the Argos senior statesmen at 35 years old, comes up with the big catch to move those chains.
The big boys in here. Double tight end set. Kilgore goes the other way. The hitch to Spencer. Deontay Spencer up near the 40-yard line made something out of what looked like might have been a loss early on. An 8-yard gain for Spencer in his return back to the Argos.
Well, and this is part of what the Argos like about Deontay Spencer. We mentioned last year he saw a lot of his playing time filling in for an injured Chad Owens. The Argos see him as a guy with a similar skill set, a smaller receiver, but a guy who has kind of those kick returner skills. He can do some things with the ball after the catch. If you want to get it in his hands, sometimes close to that line of scrimmage. Just wind him up and let him go rather than taking the deep shots as we've seen early in this ballgame.
3 receivers set on 2nd and 2. Looks like a first down for Brandon Whitaker with just over 5 minutes to go.
It's a first down.
Halftime coming up with Rod Milton Jock in the house tonight.
I think Milt's going to be a little disappointed when he finds out he's not getting a banner at halftime.
We can make him one. He is sporting that bow tie tonight. Looking fine. Handing it off again here on first down. So a throwing down coming up for the Argos. Again, 2 teams that came in, they don't get a lot of yardage. 8 and 9 in the league. Last and second last on first down yardage.
I'm going to go ahead and call this a successful drive already. I talked about that field position when they started off. Anytime you get the ball inside your own 20, this is one of the things you have to do is make sure you get at least a couple of first downs to try and turn that field.
Whitaker now goes to the wide side, top of your screen. Acts as a receiver. Kilgore now fires, and Spencer again. What a catch that time. Draping him was C.J. Roberts, the rookie cornerback.
Just a quick slant from Spencer coming in from that left side. He's a guy who hasn't missed a beat despite sitting out the first 6 weeks of the season.
3.5 to go before halftime. 5 catches now for 87 now for Spencer, including that touchdown into Winnipeg territory. Kilgore in trouble. Down he goes. Ian Wild and Kevin Fogg in on the sack. Ian Wild, Dwayne, has had an outstanding season. He has been in the backfield on most nights on almost every play. As Michael Shea told us yesterday, you see him in almost every frame of video.
Yeah, he's a guy who plays fast. He gets a little help here as well from that secondary blitz from Kevin Fogg. You saw the running back, Brandon Whitaker, number 3. He's got 2 guys. It's a double read type situation for him. He does the right thing. He takes the most dangerous, which is the inside rusher, Wild, but it leaves Fogg, a speedster, coming in a hurry from the outside.
Just the first sack in this ball game. Give it to Fogg, who got burned by Spencer early in the ball game, but has also had a couple of nice returns and a big pick. Chris Van Zyl slow to get up, and a Argo O-line that's also been hit by injuries.
Yeah, Chris Van Zyl, a fixture at right tackle for the Argos. He's going to get tangled up at the end of this play with the blitzing defensive back, Kevin Fogg. You'll see Fogg kind of clips Van Zyl around the ankles. He immediately grabbed that right knee area. You'll see him on the end of the line working against Jamal Westerman.
We had a great conversation with Chris Van Zyl, one of the classiest guys in the Canadian Football League yesterday. Talked about his transition, his journey over the last couple of years.
Yeah, a great story of perseverance and commitment. This is a guy who's a very good defensive lineman in university at McMaster, drafted by the Montreal Alouettes as a D lineman. And it was in his second training camp there in 08 that Mark Trestman, then the Owls head coach, approached him about the possibility of flipping over to the offensive side of the ball. Took a couple of pass sets in warm-up against great veteran at that time, Anwar Stewart. Did pretty well, and the rest is history. He's been an O-lineman ever since.
They sub in for him. Play action again for Kilgore. Tries to pump one to the far sideline. Incomplete pass again, looking for Spencer. Terrence Frederick was in the area. 13-10 lead Winnipeg. Back and forth these two teams go. It's the 3-minute warning before halftime tonight on Friday Night Football from Toronto.
Field coming up. The panel will talk about defense, about Winnipeg taking advantage of turnovers, and the interesting first half for Kevin Fogg as well. Rod, Dwayne, I have a cheering section. Do you?
Not really, but
those two on the outside are.
Well, you know that Milt likes the pom-poms, particularly with that blue and gold tie that he's wearing. Oh, Lirim Hairelahu had that tip. I'd have a cheering section for the panel too. They deserve it. Kevin Fogg is there, and he's stood up and pasted.
Yeah, big tackle there from the fullback, Alex Dupuis. Matt Nichols, bit of a slow start tonight relative to the standard that he's set in recent weeks.
Well, how was he going to live up to that? That explosion last week, of course, against the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the lightning delay. Win against his old team, the Eskimos, the week before. Under the lights now here in Toronto tonight. Temperatures still soaring up there. A very hot and humid night. Need a lot of water, need a lot of Gatorade here tonight. Far side for Rory Colehurt.
Colehurt working on the boundary side this time. Had a little bit of a cushion from A.J. Jefferson. Nichols just taking what he's given.
So another second down conversion here for the Blue Bombers. Argos second in the CFL and holding teams on second down. And will they do it again here? No. Andrew Harris, left side up near the 42-yard line. A 10-yard gain for Andrew Harris.
Okay, a couple of nice runs in the early going for Andrew Harris. He gets blocked downfield here from the receiver. Jace Davis, watch for number 1, is the lead blocker. Kick out on the safety, Thomas Gordon.
8 carries now for Harris for 62 yards. Productive already tonight. Nichols has time and going deep once more. And overthrows Denmark. Penalty flag, though, in the backfield. And it looks like it's going against Winnipeg. It's a hold, says Al Bradbury. Mike O'Shea back in a place.
Holding Winnipeg, number 66. Penalties decline. Second down.
He knows very well, of course. O'Shea, a former star here as a linebacker with the Argos, 12 seasons. Won 3 Grey Cups. Became a coordinator here, special teams, and then ended up in Winnipeg, of course, as their head coach since 2014. Tough season last year, tough start to this season. They've righted the ship the last couple of games. Nichols again from his back foot, a wobbler. And once again, that drive will end there. 2 minutes to go before the half. Rod Smith and his cheerleaders are standing by. Those guys don't have, it's either they don't have enough fun or they don't get out very much. They have a lot of fun in that studio. Great to have the boys here tonight.
That's a good decision.
Medlock. High boot. Taylor. Bomber team that is first in the CFL and coverage on punt returns. And again, Larry Taylor has nothing. Argo team that's coming off the bye week. Their schedule heightens in the next couple of weeks. And And a team that's been on the road for some time. They said they were galvanized by that road trip early in the season. Wins in Saskatchewan and BC, and BMO Field will be home sweet home 4 of the next 5 games. In fact, they don't have to go anywhere because their only road game is
Winnipeg, number 21, a 15-yard penalty. Illegal block. Toronto, number 38. Difference is 5 yards. First down.
that only road game is just down the QEW in Hamilton.
You know, they got a couple games during the Canadian National Exhibition.
You know what that means? We may
saying there will be some rides up.
Yeah, there will be rides. Day. Well, they're starting to put those rides up today already. Logan Kilgore. Devin Wiley. Hammered by Frederick. Kilgore now 11 of 20 for 138, a touchdown and a pair of picks. The Argos' love about this guy, though, is that he doesn't get rattled. Say he's cool as a cucumber. And Whitaker is stopped short.
A big defensive play there by the former Argo Euclid Cummings. Right in the middle of that Bomber defensive line. I had a terrific season with the Argos last year. One of the top D tackles in the league in terms of sacks.
Had 8 sacks and played all 18 games in 2015. This is a tackle for a loss. And forces the Argos to kick the ball back to Winnipeg. Liram Hairolahu saw the Bombers come hard in this last punt. See what happens here. Kevin Fogg along the sideline. It's a minute to go before halftime now. 3-point Winnipeg lead, chance to put some more points on the board. Well, Dwayne Ford witnessed the rise of an American Queen pin, a thrilling new drama based on the international bestseller Queen of the South. Catch the series premiere Tuesday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on Bravo.
Are you familiar with the book, Rod?
I am not. Are you?
No.
You're a heavy reader, though. I know that. Injured Argo on the sidelines. That's Matt Black. Great special teams player and defensive back. And one of the local products. It's on that far sideline.
Matt Black is a guy who's counted on as one of the leaders on the Argo special teams. This looked like his arm got rolled on by a teammate, James Yurichuk, in on the tackle with him.
Had his nicks through the years. Matt Black, Toronto native, former 6th round pick back in 2008, forged a very solid career through the years.
A guy who was always one of the top high school players in the Toronto area before making his way to Saginaw Valley State D2 school in Michigan.
That time of year, I know you like this time of year, the CIS play starts amping up down
CIS
south.
Camps are opening, absolutely. NCAA camps.
High school kids go back to school soon. High school football kicks into gear as well. Great area, hotbed for high school football in Southern Ontario. Nichols over the top, and Chase Davis would have had to make a highlight reel catch to haul that one in.
A couple of deflections on this one. First one by the middle linebacker, Corey Greenwood. Threw his hands off the hand to Jace Davis. Bombers fortunate that one of the nearby Argos wasn't able to grab that one before it landed.
Interceptions plaguing both quarterbacks here tonight. Down goes Thomas Mayo. Won't get to the first down marker, so the Argos are going to get the ball back. Under a minute to go, and a chance to put it into field goal position to force a halftime tie, perhaps.
Oh, get a look at Logan Kilgore working that hurry-up offense. Another new challenge for him here in his second CFL start.
Well, there have been some different twists and chapters. CFL a few weeks ago, beginning of the season, this would have been billed as a Ricky Ray versus Drew Willie matchup. That's not to be. Logan Kilgore and Matt Nichols tonight. Taylor. And Mike O'Shea's Bombers covers so well downfield. A 12-yard gain on a 43-yard kick. So just 24 seconds before halftime. You have a chance to take a couple of shots downfield quickly.
Yeah, this might be a situation, given the field position, especially with a young quarterback, where they may choose to play it safe and just shut her down here.
And they might.
Liram Hairolahu warming up on the sidelines, maybe thinking a little differently.
Well, they go into shotgun. They will keep it on the ground. 18 seconds and make a substitution here. Quite likely they will keep it on the turf once more. Kilgore again has thrown 2 picks in this first half.
Yeah, they'll go to their double tight personnel here.
A couple of big plays though. Back and forth game. Final play, opening half. Started out with a pair of field goals and a couple of big shots. Logan Kilgore found Deontay Spencer. Then later, Matt Nichols to Clarence Denmark. That's the difference. A 3-point game on Friday Night Football tonight. 2 teams running hot. 2-game win streaks on the line in Toronto. Some big D, couple of big plays in that first half. The Bombers lead the Argos 13-10, getting ready for the second half here. Friday Night Football from Toronto with Argos head coach Scott Milanovich. Here's Matthew Shinetti.
Scott, I know the primary focus of any quarterback in your system is protect the football. What did you tell Logan at halftime?
I told him I don't care if he throws 8 interceptions. I want him to hit his back foot and let it rip.
In terms of other adjustments the team has to make in the second half.
Well, they're doing a nice job mixing it up defensively. I think our defense is playing well. We need to do a little bit better job recognizing their blitzes. They're coming after him a little bit, showing him a little bit different looks. We need to get him settled down into some plays he's comfortable with.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks a lot.
And it goes back to what we talked about off the top, Rod, with a young quarterback, putting him in a position to succeed. So now having a little bit of a sense of what the Bombers are trying to do defensively to make life difficult for Logan Kilgore. It's a matter of making a couple of tweaks in terms of play calling to get it to Kilgore's advantage.
Third quarter underway. And downfield really quickly. Kyle Knox with another special teams tackle, just his second game. Fresno State Bulldogs made a number of special team tackles. So Logan Kilgore, the 2 picks. Do you concur with Scott Milanovich? Just let her rip?
Well, I love that advice. He wants his quarterback to play with confidence and not be afraid of making mistakes. In a nutshell, it's one of those things we talk about all the time, not just in football, but in team sports in general, is you're not playing to not lose, you're playing to win. And that's what the basic advice that he's giving his young QB.
1st and 10. Hot route right here. Wallace Miles has some running room as well. Big yards after the catch on a quick hitter to Wallace Miles, the former Bomber. Brings it close to the 52-yard line and a gain of 23 yards.
And here you go. The idea is to get the ball out quickly. So you have those quick slants. He's going to get instant leverage on his man, Kilgore, not having to deal with pressure because the ball's out in a hurry.
Argos get right back to it. The former Middle Tennessee State star, Logan Kilgore. And the pistol formation was Whitaker, so it'll be a throwing down again. Kilgore, the 26-year-old out of California, went home during the bye week. After the game in Ottawa, decided not to join the team on the charter, drove back to Toronto from Ottawa, and then proceeded to head home for a few days.
Yeah, he was catching an early flight out of Toronto that was leaving before the team flight would have returned from Ottawa, so hopped on the 401. Drive back to TO after the game.
Says he's learned a lot about Canada last couple of years, spending time in the CFL. And Kenny Shaw fumbled the football, and Kevin Fogg has another big turnover for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Kenny Shaw absolutely coughed that up. Makes a huge catch, 19 yards, and then Kevin Fogg, who has a pick tonight, now a fumble recovery tonight. Now the question is, and I'm sure Scott Milanovic is going to be looking at this, was he down? I don't think he was.
I mean, he's certainly wrapped up.
No, he's
but it looked like he's extending, trying to reach for more yards, and that's when that ball pops out before he actually hits the turf.
So another Argo turnover. The Bombers have feasted on turnovers, and now they give one right back.
Yeah, there's a flag down, though, so it'll depend on who jumped.
Ricky Foley. That might be his third fumble recovery of the new season. Let's see.
Offside. Toronto. Number 7. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Never mind about that. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty, and Bombers are fortunate there. Mike O'Shea lathered up on the sideline.
Watch the running back, Andrew Harris, going in motion here. Timing's a little bit off. He gets struck by that snap.
Bombers lucky to hang on to this one. Harris now, right side. 4-yard pickup. Corey Greenwood in on the tackle again. The Kingston, Ontario native who played at Concordia and spent time in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Corey Greenwood, the number 3 overall pick back in 2010. Might not have gone as high if they had known he was headed for KC, but got that contract offer a little late and made the most of it.
Second short yardage. Andrew Harris. Argos try to strip him of the football, but he's hanging on for dear life, and he picks up 7 on a short yardage play. And there's a late flag here. Likely some unsportsmanlike conduct or unnecessary roughness after the play.
That orange cloth came flying out of the scrum.
Travis Bond was into it. He's made an immediate impact since coming into the Winnipeg lineup, the former UNC product.
After the first down was gained, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Winnipeg number 60. We'll go back from the dead ball foul point. It will be first down.
And all the good that he has done, but Travis Bond knows he'd like to have this play back, and so would Mike O'Shea. Former Viking draft pick. He's really solidified that left side of the Bomber O-line. Stanley Bryant there. Whoa, that was dangerous.
TJ Heath thought he had number 4.
He's a first pass target for Chris Adams in the game, and TJ Heath, who leads the CFL in interceptions, almost had another.
Heath and AJ Jefferson on that boundary side of the field, the short side, have combined for 5 picks so far this season.
Another second down play for the Bombers. 3-man Argo rush. Nichols now going deep. Adams is there, jump ball, and unable to come down with it. One-on-one coverage with A.J. Jefferson. They love the height differential. Chris Adams presents, the 6'3" target from Fort Wayne, Texas, out of UTEP. Unable to bring this down here.
And they had two receivers to whom they might have had a shot. Look at Clarence Denmark on the left side of your screen, who's in behind his defender, as well as Chris Adams on the outside.
Argos just got a last-minute substitution in, and again, great coverage downfield. Knocked out of bounds is Larry Taylor by Tony Burnett. Still a 3-point lead here. Argos have given up the ball 3 times. Logan Kilgore, though, had a kill shot to Deontay Spencer in the first half. Scott Milanovic and the Toronto Argonauts down 3 to the visiting Winnipeg Blue Bombers here at BMO tonight. Let's go down to the sideline. Once again, here's Matthew Shinetti.
Now, Rod, we heard the positive reinforcement from Scott Milanovic to Logan Kilgore when the Argos were in their locker room. And Kilgore notices that Milanovic is very articulate, very empathetic when he's talking to his players in the locker room. But sometimes in the practice field, he's not that way, particularly with quarterbacks. He tries to get under their skin. He did it with Caleros. He did it with Harris. And during the summer camp in Florida, he tried to with Kilgore, trying to say, listen, Zach Caleros would have made that throw, Trevor Harris would have made that throw. And then Kilgore looked at him and said, if you're looking for a response from me, you're not going to get anything. I'm the son of a coach. All I'm going to do is go out and play. And since then, Milanovic has simply said, all right, go and do it. Guys.
Well, Scott Milanovic, before everybody thinks that he's some kind of bully, this is just one of Scott's coaching techniques, yes. Honestly, is that he wants to create difficult situations.
He's not Bobby Knight.
Under pressure, create some stress for his quarterback, so he'll lean on them heavily during practice and get after them, knowing that they're going to get far worse from opposing defenses on game day.
Well, I think he's probably had that given to him at some point. Now they're a deep shot here, and it is picked off by Kevin Fogg. What a night this guy's having. What a catch. That was a 2-man juggling act.
Impressive battle for the ball. Deontay Spencer's the outside receiver. On this play, Kevin Fogg picks him up deep. He's got that deep third running right with him. Fogg touches first. Spencer gets a hand in.
Wow. Kevin Fogg tonight. Pair of picks. Fumble recovery. 1-man turnover crew. Andrew Harris now bursting left side. Greenwood the tackle. And you know, a little redemption for him. Some vindication as well because he was burned earlier.
Yeah, you heard Milt Stiegel talk about this guy at halftime. Kevin Fogg, first-year Blue Bomber. Making a big impact.
See, when you do a lot of that, you get to give a lot of shout-outs. Get a lot of airtime. Deontay Spencer got him once. That time, Fogg got him. Another quick one. Near the far hash mark for Jace Davis, who brings that in for his first catch of the night. Davis, one of those fill-ins. Like the Argos, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have gone through a plethora of receivers as well because of injury. And, of course, 2 of their big pickups in the offseason, Weston Dressler, who's close to coming back, and Ryan Smith, who's not right now, both out of the lineup.
And Darvin Adams, who appeared poised for a breakout season, got off to a good start. Former Argonaut. Also on that injured list, so 3 guys they were really counting on to be key components in their passing game, all sitting at home watching tonight.
Argos have owned Winnipeg the last few seasons. They've won 6 of the last 7 against Winnipeg, 10 of the last 12, 8-2 in the Scott Milanovic era. Matt Nichols keeps. And on 3rd down, Winnipeg looks like they'll reset the sticks. They will.
Bombers setting up to go no huddle here.
Double tight end. Andrew Harris. Big collision in the almost second level, and Travis Bond into it again. And can't say enough of what Travis Bond has done to this line as he's come into the lineup. Keep in mind, this is a lineup and an O-line that was missing Pat Neufeld on the other side, and then of course had Jamarcus Hardrick in as well. They've been able to patch up their line pretty well.
Yeah, well, this is a guy who was known as Treetop in college, and you can see even as he's standing with the other O-lineman, he's just towering above.
Giant. Here come the Argos on the rush. Denmark again, first down, and Clarence Denmark is one of the major scores here tonight, a 13-yard gain. Another catch for Denmark, who again was released by the Blue Bombers, found a home in Saskatchewan, it appeared, and then was released there and makes his home back in Winnipeg again in the Bomber uniform. And Harris again, half the first down yardage.
Bombers' run game, as Jock Climie alluded to at halftime, has been very productive. They've been committed to getting the ball in Andrew Harris's hands, letting that offensive line lean on some people. Harris already 13 carries, 86 yards.
Lapo looking a lot more composed the last couple of weeks. That helps with wins. Here comes a five-man rush again. There goes the ball, and Colhert, former Saskatchewan Husky. Another fresh set of downs on a 7-yard pickup.
Rory Colhert, a guy who's put up huge numbers, but a model of consistency. Usually playing that wide side wide receiver position for the Bombers.
Nichols now deep over the top again, and it's Denmark once more.
I think he wants to stay.
I think he is staying.
Clarence Denmark.
Wow, two outstanding games on his return back to the Blue Bombers. And another huge play. This is 35 yards, 40.
And here's a veteran receiver using a little change of pace to throw off the defender. With only a couple days practice last week, he led the Bombers with 7 catches. Here he is in the third quarter. 6 catches, 116 yards.
Bombers in the red zone. Davis now up top. Pitch screen. Has about 7 there.
Good effort by Jace Davis to make the first tackler miss.
Well, one thing about Winnipeg, it's not like they knew what they were not getting in Clarence Denmark.
Yeah, well, again, and his release, a lot of times a player can look at that as, whether you want to call it an insult, a disrespect, a team thinking he's not that good, but quite frankly, in his case, really just a numbers situation. They had brought in a couple more guys to play slot. Didn't necessarily have room for all 3 guys, so they gave him a chance to go somewhere else.
5:45 to go in the third quarter. Devin Smith is down. We'll step aside and come back to Toronto in a moment.
Devin Smith, the Argo halfback, made his way to the sidelines, number 19. Shaken up on that tackle.
Like his teammate Isaiah Green. Top of him. So Gerald Brown is into the game, the former Montreal Alouette.
First game of 2016.
Nichols looking end zone. Over the top now. And once again, it's Thomas Mayo.
A nice poise there by Matt Nichols. Suspect everyone around him may have been getting a little bit nervous, but you'll see Mayo come in as his check down guy. He knows he's there.
Andrew Harris slips one and another and carries everybody to the end zone for the touchdown.
What an effort.
Wow. I got touchdown Winnipeg.
Here you You see Harris in that Winnipeg Bomber backfield. Watch how many broken tackles or missed tackles, depending on if you want to go positive or negative, there are here. Fought his way through probably 5 or 6 Argos by the time that run was over.
Third rushing touchdown as a Blue Bomber, Andrew Harris. Might have a 100-yard rushing night in him tonight. An 11-play, 92-yard drive that ate up 5 minutes and 12 seconds. The Blue Bombers on the road here tonight. Justin Medlock, who's been perfect on point afters this season, gives Winnipeg a 10-point lead. Big drive. Andrew Harris puts it into the end zone. Harris gets on the bike after getting on the freight train, taking it into the end zone for his third Winnipeg touchdown. Dwayne, 17 Blue Bomber points off of Argo turnovers.
Yeah, they'll kill you every time. There have been a couple interceptions thrown by Kilgore in this ball game. Kenny Shaw fumble as well.
Larry Taylor knocked out of bounds by Khalil Bass. 4:42 to go in the third quarter. 4 Argo turnovers. That's the difference in the ball game. 20-10 Winnipeg. Thursday, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on TSN 1 and 4.
I gotta make it a strike beat, baby. They gotta catch me today.
You gotta be kidding me. This is how we play now. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching tonight. Friday Night Football, Week 8.
I think Brandon Banks stole your dance. That's the one you usually do before games.
Rodney doing that thing. You chime in a little bit with that, though. Get the panel to do that one. Logan Kilgore and the Argos. Think about this game and the difference that Kevin Fogg has made. The Argos driving twice, threatening twice into the red zone almost. Kenny Shaw coughs one up. Fogg picks it up. Then picks off an earlier pass, with the Argos also marching the football. Deontay Spencer, who scored the first major of the game, that gave the Argos the early lead at 10-3. But since that time, it's been all Winnipeg, and again, they have capitalized on some Toronto miscues.
Yeah, we talk all the time about turnovers being the most telling stat in a football game, and it's been so true in this one. You know, the Argos have done a good job in terms of time of possession. They've done a good job producing yardage, moving the football, but losing the turnover battle means losing on the scoreboard most of the time.
Kilgore in traffic. That's a first down on a quick hitter on the far side, and again connecting with Spencer. I'll go no huddle again.
Maybe seeing Deontay Spencer getting a little more of a cushion after some of those deep shots early in this ball game. Just opened them up a little bit more in the short game here in the second half.
Kilgore now is in trouble. Gets away from it, and down the sideline he goes for Kenny Shaw. 5-yard gain.
This is a nice little escape by Kilgore, who looked like he was in trouble. You're going to see pressure come off both edges before he spins out of here. Nice bit of poise with that reverse spin out. He kind of changed up the angle on Ian Wild, who was the contained guy, the contained rusher on that side.
Winnipeg defense that came into tonight with a lot of interceptions, fumble recoveries, but giving up more yards than any other team in the league. Now Kilgore, hot shot there, juggling act. Devin Wiley, again, one of those players that Kilgore was working with on the practice squad and the scout team. There was a penalty on the play. See if this will stand. That would have been a first down, but see what Al Bradbury has for us. Looks like it might be against Toronto.
After distance was gained for first down, blocking below the waist. Toronto, number 43. 10-yard penalty. Will be first down, back 10 yards.
So they'll make it 1st and 10, but ball spotted back at the 48-yard line for Logan Kilgore. Under 3 minutes to play here, 3rd quarter. Game that's a lot closer than the score would indicate right now. Kilgore lobs one in and unable to hang on. Declan Cross came into the game with that play. Could not snag the ball. That would have been a big play.
Yeah, I love the play call. Going to see Cross line up at this tight end spot, and he's just headed down the seam. Everyone on defense is anticipating he's going to be a blocker, so they let him go. Forgotten man, the throw's on the money. Declan Cross, the rookie out of McMaster, wishes he could have that one back.
4-year Commerce major, 4th round pick by the Argos this year. Kilgore again steps back and fires, and it's a first down on the far side. Once again, Deontay Spencer. Spencer and Clarence Denmark seem to be the go-to guys for both sides tonight.
Well, they're the guys who are the most experienced, bring the seniority, and it's funny to say about Spencer as a 2nd-year guy, but when you look at the turnover of the Argo receivers due to injury, he's the guy of those youngsters. When you take particularly the Canadians, Andre Dury and Anthony Coombs out of the mix, the guy who's played the most.
Kilgore shovel to Anthony Coombs, the aforementioned. Half the first down yardage up near the 45-yard line. Well, Denmark and Spencer tonight, those veteran receivers, the guys with the most experience, both over 100 yards receiving now. Here's the shovel.
Well, yeah, they set this up as a bit of a screen, but hoping the defense will lose Anthony Coombs, not really count him as a running back because Brandon Whitaker is already released from that formation. Teams may anticipate or identify Whitaker as the running back, not pick up Coombs as quickly.
Penalty flag, likely a hold here, and thrown away, and that could have been taken away. Wiley makes the catch. Frederick is a step away from taking that to distance. This is coming back, though. This will be a hold, which afforded Kilgore that extra time.
Holding. Toronto, number 59. 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
So 2nd and long now for the Argos, down 20-10, final minute, 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and keep an eye here on the veteran left tackle, Josh Burton. Just got his feet tangled up a little bit and had to grab the rookie Trent Corney to try to recover.
Kilgore just knocked down by Ian Wild at the end. So 5 receivers set. 4-1 set here for Kilgore. Is looking left, though, now has to step up and goes downfield and has Wallace Miles, who can't hang on. You can hear the crowd gasp there. Miles might have had the touchdown.
Yeah, I think Miles was thrown off by that last-second leap by the man in coverage.
Right in the backfield now with Kilgore.
Great escape there. We've seen a couple of them from Kilgore stepping up, eyes downfield. It's where it needs to be. I think that leap by Frederick just threw off the receiver Miles enough to prevent him from catching that ball.
Does this guy have anything else for an encore? Maybe he does. Kevin Fogg will step out of bounds. Over a Gatorade cooler, a 14-yard return on a 52-yard kick. One more play to come, barring penalty, in the 3rd quarter.
This may be the Argos' best chance so far in the 2nd half to try and gain some ground here. So we've got Winnipeg in their own end. They can get a good hold here defensively.
Winnipeg team coming off 2 straight wins. First time back-to-back wins in a couple seasons back to 2014, looking to make it 3 in a row. Andrew Harris with some blocking help and a high hurdle. And close to a first down.
I think he saw his backfield partner Chris Normand on the highlights last week. Didn't want to be outdone.
Must be the spirit of the Olympics in Rio, because we've seen a lot of hurdling going on, including Andrew Harris tonight. The Bombers trying to leap their way to their 3rd straight win. They have a 20-10 lead heading to the 4th quarter tonight at BMO Field. This is Friday Night Football. On Friday Night Football, you can see the stat numbers. Just look at that second column, that second row at the bottom. 4 turnovers by the Argos, really the difference in the ball game.
Yeah, 17 points off turnovers. Now the other thing that jumps out statistically is, you know that I am a huge fan of the ground game. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 99 yards on the ground so far tonight, doing a nice job in that regard. Again, it puts your quarterback in a better position to succeed because you're keeping some of the pressure off.
Great night at BMO Field to take in a ball game. Interesting night for the officials.
Well, I'll tell you what, some people get a little bit upset at the officials for throwing flags and things like that.
Look at these guys. This is the CFL.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are committed to entertainment. I really appreciate Al Bradbury and his crew getting involved here.
That is Canadian football at its best right there, folks. There's Andrew Harris. Our field is wider. It is longer. Our ball has stripes on it. We have a rouge and everything, and our officials dance.
Dancing officials.
We have dancing officials. They were having some fun between quarters here tonight. Glad you're with us wherever you're watching tonight. North of the border, south of the border, overseas. Week 8 continues in the CFL. Winnipeg Blue Bombers trying to even their record at 4-4 and hold on to this lead. They are 3-1, leading after 3 quarters this season. Matt Nichols pulls it back, pulls the string, has his man. Clarence Denmark again. He's gone. See ya. Touchdown. He's done it again.
I'll tell you what, the way that Clarence Denmark has come back to this team.
This might be one of the greatest comebacks ever.
Mike O'Shea might let all of his veterans go before training camp next year and then bring them back a month into the season. But in all seriousness, give Clarence Denmark all sorts of credit for having the right attitude. Because a lot of guys, if they got let go by a team, they might have gone home and sulked, they might have come back, lacked confidence, they might have been upset, bitter, whatever. Clarence Denmark, he never wanted to leave in the first place, and he has acted like a guy who's wanted to be here since he came back. Absolutely making the most of the opportunity. And kudos to him, he deserves it.
What a story this has become from a guy released the numbers game and then puts up enormous numbers tonight. Enormous numbers.
Closing in on 200 receiving yards in this ball game. 7 catches, 195, and a pair of touchdowns right now for Clarence Denmark. What a return.
Lapo even
Good
applauds
call,
that.
Lapo.
There you go. 89 looked like 85 on that play. Our buddy Milt Stiegel. Boy, that was a huge play for the Blue Bombers. 79-yarder. Clarence Denmark, a pair of touchdowns, has 3 in 2 games. Actually 3 in 7 quarters since coming back to the Bomber organization.
Well, you got to think there are probably some other teams wondering what this guy was doing sitting at home for the first month of the season.
Incredible. Justin Medlock now. Argos down 17 points now. Lost in all of that. As much as we're talking about Denmark, how about the night that Matt Nichols is putting together again?
Yeah, and you know, I mean, that throw from Matt Nichols kind of summed up the way he's playing. Yeah, there's the confidence element of it and so on, but also just the willingness to take some shots, push that ball down the field, put some pressure on the defense.
Couple of touchdown strikes to Clarence Denmark. Andrew Harris has also scored. Turnovers have been an issue for the Argos. Still have a lot of time though. Here comes the blitz, and there goes the ball, and Andre Dury. Logan Kilgore coming out slinging here. And as his coach said at halftime, it doesn't matter about the picks or the turnovers, just come out and let it rip.
Yep, play with confidence, step up and throw that ball.
10-yard gain for Dury. Kilgore is going to change the play here. Brings Wiley to the short side. 5 receiver set. Pulls it back. Screenplay and a big collision. Andre Dury and Bruce Johnson meet head on.
I think Andre Dury got his head around just in time and was ready for that contact. Andre Dury's not the biggest guy, but as you see, rock solid on his feet.
Another second down here. The Argos can ill afford to give the ball back to Winnipeg anymore in this game. 3-possession game all of a sudden. Kilgore, tight spiral, and unable to hang on is Spencer. So they will have to kick it.
Kilgore lets it rip, but just a wee bit outside. Spencer able to get his hands on it, but unable to pull it in.
Lirim Hajrullahu. And off the side of his foot that time. Kevin Fogg goes backwards now. Chased down by Kevin Bradfield. Pushed out of bounds near the midfield stripe. 12 minutes to go. A Bomber team that trailed 10-3 has scored 24 unanswered. Denmark on the mark. Lapo loves it. 27-10 on Friday Night Football. On TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Hot, sweltering night in Toronto. You know, the temperature was supposed to go down. It's actually gone up tonight. As this game has progressed, tough one on those big guys, the beef, the O lineman, the D lineman. Tough one on the Argos tonight, down 27-10. Matt Nichols using up this play clock. Keep it on the ground to Andrew Harris. Penalty flag on the play. Boy, what a difference the last few weeks make for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Team brimming with confidence right now.
And one of the things that stands out a bit in this one.
Holding, Winnipeg, number 60, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
And one of the things that stands out a bit in this one is when you think back to what we discussed before this game, the fact that the Bombers in their 2 previous wins had never trailed. So there hadn't been any sort of sense of adversity, pressure, whatever you want to call it. But in this one, they got behind early and gave up the big play to Deontay Spencer, but responded immediately and rather decisively.
Adams makes the catch at the 50. Chris Adams. Second game with the Blue Bombers. Here's the guy on the sideline that Matt Nichols replaced, Drew Willie. Struggled out of the gate for Winnipeg in the early season.
A tough situation for Drew Willie.
1-4 mark, and then Matt Nichols comes in, and all he's done is win. Harris again. Another punishing run by Andrew Harris. Right at the 50-yard line, a 10-yard pickup.
You can just sense how Andrew Harris and that offensive line have found their groove in terms of the ground game. Harris playing good physical football, and the O-line doing the same. See Travis Bond locked onto his guy. Bodies on bodies, staying on their men downfield. There's an enthusiasm there from that offensive line because they're getting a chance to be aggressive.
The Argos are going to have to find a way to score quickly. Justin Medlock, who leads the CFL and punts inside the 10-yard line, does it again inside the 5. That is perfect. Here, the 2-yard line. Talk about the coffin corner. 27-10, Medlock's Bombers.
Turnovers have been the story in this ball game. Toronto Argonauts committing them, Winnipeg Blue Bombers benefiting from them. Kevin Fogg, 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery in this ball game. Khalil Bass has the other pick. The Bombers have generated most of their points in this game as a result of turnovers.
Long field now for Toronto. Great kick by Justin Medlock, his 6th now. Inside the 10-yard line. That one inside the 5. Kilgore steps back, fires in traffic again for Kenny Shaw up near the 10-yard line. Long field here for the Toronto Argonauts and a big deficit, 27-10, a game that's completely gotten away from them in this second half.
Yeah, some missed opportunities early on for the Toronto Argonauts. You think back to the first Kevin Fogg interception where they had the Ian Wild hit on Kenny Shaw.
They score on that drive. Would it look like they might have marched and scored? We're talking a completely different ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, it was 10-3 at that point, so they at least go to 13-3, if not 17-3, but instead, that kind of opened the floodgates for 24 unanswered Winnipeg points.
Scott Milanovich, last few weeks, certainly hasn't had that disposition on the sideline. Fuddled tonight, to say the least. Now they have to boot it. Hairelahu from his end zone. And they fake it. Cody Fajardo's taking off. He has to get to the first down marker, and he does. What a sell job by Lirim Hairelahu and Fajardo. The 13-yard gain. Little trickery by the Argos will keep this drive going.
Well, they've used Fajardo all year as one of their personal protectors on their punt team. He's been out there covering punts, so it doesn't raise a red flag when he's out there. You think, yeah, this is a quarterback, not a running back, but this is a guy who twice rushed for over 1,000 yards during his college career. Does a great job running the rock there.
University of Nevada, Fajardo. Well, maybe that's something that will ignite this Argo offense. Here's the blitz again. Another shovel. Devin Wiley. Looks like the mark will be, the spot will be close to that first down marker. 8:15, time ticking down here for Toronto.
There's a look at Logan Kilgore's view of things. Nice little adjustment to throw that chest pass with Jamal Westerman bearing down on his right arm.
It is a first down and laying out. Nice catch, Spencer. They're saying incomplete. Oh, another second down conversion coming up, and the Argos, who frittered away a 10-3 advantage early. $17 points surrendered off of costly turnovers.
Again, game often comes down to a handful of big plays, and to this point, the Bombers have made the majority of them.
Oh, and another dangerous toss. Now there's a flag in the backfield as Kilgore threw the football. And is it roughing the passer? It is. And this will mean a 15-yarder. And the drive will continue.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Winnipeg, number 49, 10-yard penalty. This will result in first down.
So it's not roughing the passer, it's a legal block. But a 10-yard penalty, still a fresh set of downs here for first down for Toronto. Cheyenne Green.
Number 49.
.725. Bombers showing blitz. Here it comes. Brandon Whitaker wisely steps out of bounds, tripped up there.
A good anticipation in terms of the play call.
The Argos
coordinator Marcus Brady.
The Argos can score on this drive, Dwayne. This could make it a completely different ball game with time remaining.
7 minutes to go here in the fourth.
Kilgore in trouble. Throws that away, is knocked on his can. There's Marcus Brady, former quarterback in the Canadian Football League, now the offensive coordinator for Scott Milanovich.
The guy who began his playing career here with the Argonauts, also spent some time in Hamilton, as well in Montreal. Joined that Alouettes coaching staff under Mark Trestman and Scott Milanovich. And when Milanovich got the head job here, Brady made the move.
Comes the rush again, Kilgore. And again, it's Deontay Spencer, the go-to guy down near the 35-yard line for 18 yards. 6.5 to go.
They get a little bit of pressure. The stub that brings middle linebacker Ian Wild all the way around the horn, but Kilgore just steps up to avoid it and throws a strike.
Kilgore now down the middle, and it's picked by Mo Leggett, who has his fourth, and he's got some room. He is going to go here. Mo Leggett down the sideline will score his second touchdown of the season. Good night, Toronto. Mo Leggett, his fourth interception of the season, his second for a touchdown. One against Hamilton, and this one off of Logan Kilgore.
And you see he drops from his usual linebacker spot.
He was able to hang on to the ball, too, 40.
Deep middle.
The previous play is under review by the command center.
Looking at that. The Argos
keep
praying.
That arm underneath it.
Can't tell there.
Leggett, a guy who played his first couple seasons as a Bomber, primarily at the free
After
safety
review
spot.
by the command center, we have an interception and touchdown. Confirmed.
So make that a 99-yard interception return, fifth turnover of the night. And with a convert here by Justin Medlock, that could be 24 points off of turnovers. But Scott Milanovich, even though that play is reviewed, is going to challenge.
Toronto was challenging the previous play for roughing the quarterback. This is reviewable and will be reviewed.
So they will look at that if Logan Kilgore was roughed up. Pulling out all the stops here, because that could be it. The Argos have tonight really hinges on this call. Is it roughing the passer?
Jamal Westerman, right in the middle of your screen. He's working against Josh Burke. He's going to hang on to the quarterback Kilgore. as they go down to the turf, although he will plead his innocence right here.
After review by the command center, there is no roughing the passer on this play. The touchdown stands.
Kind of gently, gently tugging on the quarterback's jersey and hauling him down. There he is, Mo Leggett. It's over the CFL lead in interceptions. The Bombers with 4 interceptions off of Logan Kilgore tonight. Came into this game leading the league in takeaway giveaway. Medlock converts 24 points, Dwayne Ford, off of turnovers. I can't recall a game that we've done in quite some time where we've seen that many. Lopsided, like no points off of any turnovers for the Toronto Argos, who forced 1 early.
Well, and even if the Bombers hadn't been as efficient in terms of capitalizing on those opportunities, just with the turnover ratio the way it is, the Argos badly losing that battle, I mean, yeah, it severely limits any hope of winning the ballgame.
Yeah, this one's pretty much in the books now. 4-possession game, and Scott Milanovich, remember those words of advice: sit back, let her rip. She did, and that time Mo Leggett took it away. Yeah. It's hard to do against a bunch of ball hawks, though.
Well, and that's a ball that if Logan Kilgore had it to throw over again, I think he still takes the shot, but it's a ball that was actually underthrown. His receiver was in behind Leggett, but he just didn't get it there. And I think that's a little bit of what Scott Milanovich was alluding to when he said, let her rip. Gun it with some confidence.
Well, a humbling game it is. Logan Kilgore, is great as he felt after that win, his first a couple weeks ago in Ottawa. Back to reality tonight. Bombers leading 34-10 with 5:39 remaining.
Offside on the kickoff. Winnipeg number 50. Penalty to clock.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road.
Scott Milanovich will stay with his young quarterback here.
I mean, at this stage of Logan Kilgore's career, it's all about getting him playing time. So it may be a case where if the score stays similar to this, maybe a series late in the game for Cody Fajardo, and you look to try and protect Kilgore and get him ready for next week.
Goes over the middle, another penalty flag in the backfield.
Yeah, there will be a roughing the passer here.
Jamal Westerman, this time, to plead his case all he wants. He's not going to win this one.
Foul, roughing the passer, Winnipeg, 55. 15-yard penalty from the end of this play. On rack, first down.
This one's a low hit. Just as Kilgore got rid of the ball.
Argos next week at home against the Edmonton Eskimos. As you take a look at this shot by Westerman. Low shot.
And we always talk about the strike zone with the quarterback. The hit has to come between the shoulder, below the shoulders and above the knee.
Kilgore, Spencer, knocked out of bounds by C.J. Roberts. Winnipeg team that will head home, by all accounts, barring some miracle by the Argos, evening their record at 4-4 and getting ready for what should be a very relaxed and happy bye week. Argos marching now. And a jump ball and another pick. Mo Leggett does it again. That's a pair for him, 2 for Fogg. 5 interceptions thrown by Logan Kilgore. And already in the early season, 14 interceptions by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers secondary.
And you'll see Mo Leggett again. He's lined up back there as a safety. You'll see his range to the sideline on this corner route with Wallace Miles. You have to be impressed with the ball skills of the Winnipeg defensive backs. You think about the first interception by Fogg where he goes up in traffic. That one by Mo Leggett where he goes over top of the receiver to come up with the pick.
Game that was so close, Dwayne, for that first half has been broken wide open in the second. How about a Winnipeg team looking like they're going to make it 3 wins in a row, and they've scored 30-plus points in all 3 victories.
Yeah, and this goes back to discussions we had early in the year, Rod, where, you know, I mean, my feeling all along has been that Winnipeg had the pieces in place. You couldn't really question much of what Mike O'Shea had done as head coach or Kyle Walters as general manager. I think they made the right decisions. It was just a matter of being patient, staying the course, and giving it time. And it was that one final, I don't know if you can call it a tweak or not when you're talking about the quarterback position, but that one final change, that one adjustment. Matt Nichols going in for Drew Willie, and you know, I think Willie's confidence was damaged more than anything else.
Andrew Harris keeps grabbing his hand on the sideline. And I agree with you about the confidence.
And I think Matt Nichols felt more comfortable and more confident in this offense. A new scheme again as Paul LaPolice comes in as a new offensive coordinator for this team in 2016. And Nichols has been clicking ever since he's been put in that starting role.
Harry Taylor dancing around but going nowhere up near the 50-yard line. Getting close to the 3-minute warning here. One play before that. So Cody Fajardo is going to get some miles here in the last 3 minutes.
Good timing as Fajardo currently listed as the #2 guy. Now I'm not sure if Logan Kilgore was to suffer an injury, whether they feel confident enough with Fajardo or if they would go to the veteran Adrian McPherson, but regardless, valuable to get him some snaps here.
Who they signed after Ricky Ray went down, Adrian McPherson, who was with Toronto before, Montreal as well. But
and that's a case where you've got a complicated offensive system. You've got to make sure you've got a guy who really understands it, how to run it.
There's a guy who knows how to run. Fajardo, you know, maybe a harbinger. Yesterday we chatted with Scott Milanovich. He talked about the Ball Hawks. He talked about this defense in Winnipeg led by Richie Hall and company. And fair warning, close game early on, but 31 straight points by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. 3-minute warning at BMO Field in Toronto. Logan Kilgore. Tough night for the young quarterback. Let's go to the sideline now and join Matthew Shinetti once again.
Yeah, Rod, as you can imagine, Kilgore coming off the sidelines after his 5th interception. Disappointed would be an understatement, and Scott Milanovich went immediately to him, pulled him aside, put his arms around him as Kilgore was trying to explain. You could see him. Milanovich was very calm, very collected, not getting on his quarterback before Cody Fajardo went out there, basically mouthing, it's okay, but clearly Kilgore not happy, as you'd expect with this performance, guys.
Well, no, I'm sure in his lifetime, I don't think he's ever thrown 5 interceptions, maybe back in Pop Warner football in one game. It's that kind of night, though, for the Argos and for Kilgore. And the best thing about this sport, this game, he's still the #1 quarterback here, quite obviously. Until Ricky Ray comes back, you get back on the horse, you get ready for next week.
Yeah, I mean, at the quarterback position in this league, it's all about experience, right? This is his 2nd start. So I don't know if there were any false expectations after winning and throwing for 300 yards in the first one, but they certainly were never all going to be easy.
By Noel with his first CFL catch.
Noel, Toronto native.
Getting some playing time here, Dwayne.
University of Toronto product. Earned his way into some offensive snaps. He's been among the Argos leaders in special teams tackles all season. Big physical receiver.
Fajardo now. Going end zone. Looking again for Noel. Did he make that catch? Yes, he did. How about that? Levi Noel gives the fans here something to cheer about. 2 targets, 2 receptions, first CFL touchdown, and this one he'll never forget because I think he made the highlight reel.
Yeah, fantastic effort. Noel is lined up out wide. He's working against Derek Jones on the corner. Fade route, he's got some separation. Nicely thrown ball by Fajardo. Great adjustment to it by the rookie Noel.
A great catch by Noel, a 4th-round pick. Junior football player. Played at the U of T as well. Played in Windsor. Cody Fajardo has a touchdown pass. Throws it up. Levi Noel hauls it in.
Well, a couple of young guys looking to make an impression. With some late playing time.
The Argos are going to play this to the final gun. Can be guaranteed. You never know. I mean, it's still 2 minutes to go. It's a long way, long way, but something positive for the Argos as they get ready for Edmonton next week. How about that, Levi? By the way, it's been a long time since the Argos found the scoreboard.
First points for them since the end of the first quarter.
You know, you were talking about Logan Kilgore and, you know, what you can learn. It's a tough learning lesson tonight. As fleeting as this can be in the peaks and valleys. But you know what he could take a page out of? Matt Nichols' book. Because Matt Nichols has been there before.
Yeah, the guy who's certainly faced some adversity. Between injuries and struggles, waiting for an opportunity.
Well, the Argos are going to try to keep more people around here by trying the onside kick. It's up and it's batted out of bounds by Mayo. Well, 2 minutes to go. We can hand out our Nissan Titan Player of the Game. Guess what? One of the great comeback stories in the early CFL season is this guy.
Yeah, you can't help but be happy for Clarence Denmark, a guy who was let go by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers during the offseason. Sitting at home, they found themselves in need of receivers and looked to a familiar face, and Denmark has responded in a big way. Second consecutive game with 7 catches. Tonight, posting 195 yards. Clarence Denmark is our Nissan Titan Player of the Game.
Andrew Harris still in the ball game, so looked like he was nursing a sore hand. The Nissan Titan Player of the Game brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the CFL.
You see Matt Nichols' numbers through 3 starts. Again, well over 70% completion rate, 5 touchdown passes versus just 1 interception. And most importantly, 3-0.
Well, he is, again, carrying some momentum, carrying some confidence right now. Looks like Corey Greenwood is injured.
Greenwood's been so good for the Argos in the middle of that defense. Hopefully this is nothing too serious.
Well, a reminder that tomorrow, Week 8, continues and concludes. Doubleheader. Calgary against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. A little lighter in the wallet this week. Couple of heavy fines. Followed by the Cat collision. Zach Collaros. First game back since last season against Jonathan Jennings and the BC Lions tomorrow night. Andrew Harris offers Corey Greenwood his best to Thomas Mayo, and he's got some assistance to the sidelines.
Corey Greenwood seems to be having trouble putting weight on that left leg.
The Argos walking wounded, adding some injury to insult tonight. You know, would you have thought we would be at a 34-17 ball game when it was back 10-10? Did not seem like it at the time. The roof caved in for the home side. The Argos just could not find it. How about Clarence Denmark? Career high 195 yards in this ball game, and they're going to bring out the cart here for Corey Greenwood. Assist him off the field.
This is the kind of thing you hate to see happen at any point in a ball game, but especially late in a game where the outcome is a foregone conclusion.
And especially this guy. Boy, one of the hardest working players in the Canadian Football League.
Hey, bag up. Bag up, Winnipeg. This game ain't over. That month later. Bag up. Bag up. That's what I'm saying. Bag up.
Great display of sportsmanship there, as you saw several of the Bombers offensive players come over to wish him well.
You know, you heard Jacques Limey talk at halftime about injuries and that, and you know how emotional it is for a player. You get your game taken away from you for whatever stretch. It could be one game, it could be many games. But there is a brotherhood in this oftentimes brutal, violent sport that we watch and we love. That's the kind of game it is. But there is respect amongst the players.
And there has to be.
Second down and 10. Pascal Louchard carries the mail this time. Well, the fans back in River City in Manitoba. Last time a 3-game win streak came the Bombers' way. Drew Willie was the quarterback. And it was back in 2014. Boy, a lot of faces have changed. There's still a familiar face, Julian Fioli-Godino. But through injury and through substitution, Bombers have a different look this year and a different outlook right now.
Well, they've certainly got things on a roll. Rocky start to the season, but here, posting their 3rd consecutive win.
Couple weeks now, they'll take off for Montreal. Suddenly, things change in the CFL West as well. Winnipeg gallops up the standings the last few weeks. Now, even their record at 4-4, the Argos are going to fall to 4-3 in the East tonight.
Well, you talk to players and coaches around the league, and we can see it week after week. There's a level of parity in the Canadian Football League. I mean, there are no...
And adjustment.
No free spaces on this board.
No, there aren't. There are not.
Any given night, any team can beat any other team. It should make for a fascinating 2016 season.
As we kick it into the middle third of the CFL season, a lot of coaches, I think you subscribe to the theory about the 3 different stages of a season. The first 6, you know, just keep your head above water, try to see what you got. Middle season, part of the season, make sure that everybody stays healthy. Then you get a good look at what you have. And then that final 6 games, peak.
Yep, that's it. So frequently, it's not necessarily the team with the best record over 18 games, but the team with the best record through those final 6 games of the regular season that ends up coming out on top.
Something you don't see very much in pro football anymore. Grass stains on jerseys. You do here on the natural turf. Well worth it tonight for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. First time in 3 games that they actually trailed. So the equipment manager gets his money this week.
He's got to earn it.
Got to earn it. Bombers trailed. Battled back. And on a night where turnovers came aplenty, the Bombers pick apart the Toronto Argonauts. 5 interceptions, 24 points off of turnovers. Lots to think about for Scott Milanovich and the Argos. And how about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Matt Nichols? They are on a serious roll. We're back tomorrow. Stamps and Riders. Lions and Cats doubleheader as Week 8 concludes. But the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are riding real hot right now. They win here tonight 34-17. They're 4-4 on the season. They've now won 3 in a row. And a big one here tonight in Toronto. Good night, everybody. Here comes SportsCenter now.